to the second action webinar on the Open Call 2020. My name is Catherine Sama, and I'm going to talk you through what the action call is, what it does, and how it works. And there will be plenty of opportunity for questions at the end. Please can I ask everyone to keep your microphones and cameras off until the end. If you then wish to ask questions in person, that's perfectly fine. It will be recorded and published though, so please be aware when you ask questions in person rather than the chat, that will also be published. You can ask questions anytime via the chat function. The Action Open Call 2020 opened on the 1st of September 2020, and it will close on the 1st of November at noon. This is actually not the first, this is the second webinar presenting the call. And we will cover the purpose of the Action Accelerator and the benefits to you for taking part, who can apply and how to apply, how we select the projects that we work with, and then there will be a Q&A. Let me tell you about Action. Action stands for Participatory Science Toolkit for Combating Pollution. Pollution is one of the greatest threats to human health and well-being of our times, and it kills more people than smoking, hunger, natural disasters, war, infectious diseases such as AIDS and coronavirus put together. And Action takes a citizen science approach to tackling pollution. We want to co-design, implement and test novel methodologies, tools and resources that make citizen science projects more open, more innovative, diverse and sustainable. And to achieve that, we've set up an accelerator to support new and ongoing citizen science projects in Europe and worldwide. Action itself is a 3-year program funded through the European Union's Horizon 2020 framework. We started in February 2019, and the project will run through to January 2022. Action is delivered by a partnership of 10 institutions from the UK, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, and Spain. It is led by King's College London in the UK, which is where I work. Action was bootstrapped with 5 initial citizen science pilots who are part of the consortium. 6 additional pilots were added through a first open call that ran in 2019. And this year we are looking to add up to 4 more pilots to our accelerator. In terms of process, everything is prepared already, so that step is complete. Right now, you can apply for the open call, and that is possible until the 1st of November. We will shortlist candidates by the 25th of November, and interviews will be held for shortlisted candidates between the 30th November and 4th December. Dates will be assigned and will not be negotiable, so please make sure that you are available in that week. Following that, successful applicants will start into a negotiation phase that lasts from mid-December to the end of February. And I'll go into more detail of what that negotiation phase means in a moment. Sorry, I'm just trying to admit people to the call on the side. Right. Following the negotiation phase, all the successful applicants for projects will sign an agreement with Action by the end of February and begin the accelerator at the beginning of March next year, 2021. The accelerator will run for 6 months. Let me give you a quick overview of the projects we are already working with. The top row here are the projects that are part of the Action Consortium. That is Street Spectra in Spain, who looks at light pollution and uses citizen scientists to collect photographs of streetlights. Street Colors, also in Spain, works with students to assess light pollution and educate them about the problem. Tatort Streetlight in Germany also works on light pollution and investigates the effect it has on insect populations. Loss of the Night is a worldwide project that investigates the brightness of the night sky and air glow. The DYI Sensing project in Norway works with students to build sensors for air pollution. The Dragonflies and Pesticides project in the Netherlands looks at chemical pollution and its impact on dragonfly populations. The bottom row are projects that we recruited through our first open call last year, where we had Citicom Plastic, who looks at plastic pollution and the possibility of composting biodegradable plastic in Norway. In My Backyard looks at the use of pesticides in private backyards in Portugal. Noise Maps in Spain is working on the mapping of noises in communities in Barcelona. Sonic Kayaks works with visually impaired people to kayak on a road, on a lake, and measure the water and air pollution while they're doing that. Water for Future is based in Italy, but does research in Chile, in one of the most polluted areas, looking at water pollution. And Wow Nature, based in Italy, looks at air pollution in the Po area. So this is what we're doing so far. Call 2020, as I said earlier, of September closes on the 1st of November at noon. So 12 CET is midday, not midnight. Online applications can be submitted through the EasyChair platform, and that will require you to enter your contact details, submit a short proposal template that you can download on our website, and a signed declaration of honor. Applications will be shortlisted and reviewed by an interdisciplinary team from Action and external experts. And successful applicants can gain 20,000 euros of funding and support to deliver a 6-month pilot through the Action Accelerator. Beyond those 20,000 euros of funding, we also offer an intensive course of training at the start of the accelerator that will focus on project design, diversity and inclusion, citizen engagement, data management and preservation, funding and sustainability. All our pilots in the accelerator will have a mentor who will support them during the pilot. We offer tools and infrastructure to host projects and data according to state-of-the-art of IT practices. We also offer tools and methods to facilitate participatory data collection and analysis. There's some bespoke consultancy on a diverse set of citizen science challenges that will be dependent on the project requirements, but it can include data quality, preservation, GDPR, data protection, research ethics, participation, motivation, citizen empowerment, equality, diversity and inclusion, public engagement, impact, or other things as your project needs. We will promote you through our news on the Action website and on social media, and also provide plenty of opportunities for you to present your work at the Action Conference and other related events. There will be peer learning and networking opportunities facilitated through workshops and online tools, and there will be webinars on relevant topics supplementing the training. In turn, we expect our pilots to work with us to attend the training and the co-design workshops that we host, to attend monthly update calls with their mentors or other pilots, to provide monthly updates and formal reporting outlining the activities at the end of the pilot. We will need a short video about the work that the pilot has done to share on the Action website, also at the end of the pilot. We expect you to participate in the Action Impact Assessment activities, which will include at least 2 surveys sent to your citizen scientists, tracking of your project against KPIs, and an impact assessment canvas. You will need to attend interviews with and provide feedback to the action team and attend the graduation ceremony at the end of the action project at our conference. This call is focusing on projects that are primarily carried out online. That includes the project itself that should use online communication, but also auxiliary activities, all of which should be carried out online, so such as your interactions with your citizen scientists and your data collection. We will prioritize applications that engage citizens in new and innovative scientific activities, produce new results, outputs, and findings, and are mutually beneficial to citizen scientists and project administrators. And we particularly encourage applications that address marginalized, disadvantaged, or vulnerable groups to engage in citizen science. Those will also be prioritized. The call is open to organizations or consortia seeking to address a challenge clearly related to pollution. This should be ongoing citizen science projects looking for support or financial or otherwise to grow and become sustainable. It could be communities interested in co-designing research into pollution and any relevant discipline, really, from biodiversity to environmental sciences to astronomy to the humanities. You've seen what projects we already work with. Any type of pollution will be acceptable for us. Can be organizations in the public, private, and third sectors exploring the use of citizen science in their work, but it has to be organizations. Applicants must be legal entities, i.e. organizations, or consortia of multiple organizations. If you are applying with a consortium, you need to appoint a leading organization that will make the submission to action. You need to be eligible to receive Horizon 2020 funding, and there's a list of eligible countries in our action guide for applicants. And within a consortium, all participants must be eligible. Immediate family, partners, or those with financial ties to members of the action team cannot apply. Successful applicants will design, implement, and present the findings from a pollution-related citizen science initiative over the course of 6 months. So from the beginning of March 2021, going back to our earlier timeline, you will have 6 months to deliver this project. Funding, the 20,000 euros, can be spent on salaries, equipment, consumables, travel, subcontracting, and indirect expenditure, up to 25% of the total cost. Activities cannot receive double funding. If there are synergies with other projects, that is good, but you must use the funding for individual purposes that can be complementary but cannot overlap. We are looking for applications that have to do with pollution, including but not limited to raising awareness of the effects of pollution and environmental issues, generating new knowledge around pollution and its causes and effects, or efforts to prevent pollution. And in all of this, we follow a broad and inclusive understanding of citizen science. We want ideas that will make a difference at a local, national, or even international level. We want citizen-led or co-created initiatives. Those are of particular interest if it's co-created with the citizens. And we also welcome novel or underexplored approaches to citizen science and to pollution. If you want to apply, the best place to start is our website at actionproject.eu/apply-2020, where you will find basic information about the call and the requirements, and also documents, templates, and links for the application itself. I heartily recommend that you start by reading the guide for applicants, which has a lot of the detail about everything that we do in action, the things that we expect, and the things that you need to do. There's also an FAQ and related tutorial documents available on the Action website. You will need to create an account for our online submission platform on EasyChair. You should, in the application, answer all the questions and upload all the relevant documents. That includes the details on EasyChair itself. There's a form that you will need to answer, a short proposal form based on the template that we provide on the website. And this template that you submit cannot be more than 4 pages. There's a hard limit. If you submit more than 4 pages, it will be ineligible. You also need to submit a dated and signed declaration of honor, all of that by the deadline on 1st November. The proposal itself is structured in 3.5 sections. It begins with a summary, where you just outline exactly what it is that you want to do in a brief format. Then you need to talk about the idea. What is it that you want to do? Why is it relevant to action? What data do you intend to collect or use? Then you'll need to talk about the impact. What are the expected outcomes of your project? How is it sustainable, or how do you want to make it sustainable through action? And then about the implementation. What is it that you actually have planned? What activities will you engage your citizen scientists with? Who do you have involved in your team? And what is your proposed budget? To make sure that your application is eligible, there's a set of rules to follow. The first is that you cannot change the template. Download a copy of the template from our website, remove the cover page, which just explains these rules, and start answering the questions. Do not change the layout, the margins, the size of the cells in the table. Do not delete the questions. Keep everything as it is, just fill in your details. It cannot be longer than 4 pages, and you must answer all of the questions. Use a font size of at least 11 point and single spacing. Do not reduce the font size to 8 points so you can get more in. You have to be concise in what you write. Annexes are not allowed. Links to external documents that answer questions are also not allowed. You can add links to your website or to previous work for context, but we will not consider the content of external documents as part of your application. The budget must be for the 6-month accelerator period and amount to no more than 20,000 euros. You can use visual elements such as charts or mock-ups or screenshots, but they must remain readable. And the proposal must be uploaded to the online submission platform in PDF format. Read the guide of applicants before you start, as well as the FAQ. Be brief and to the point in your application. The proposal is meant to convince us that you deserve to be shortlisted. When you are shortlisted, you will be invited to an interview where you can add more detail and tell us more about your project. Use specific examples where you can. Use bullet points, graphs, tables, anything that helps you bring the point across to the best of your ability. Be bold in what you propose, but please be realistic. We want to fund things that matter, but we also want to see them being delivered in the space of 6 months. All sections of the application form are equally important, so please make sure that you spend a roughly equal amount of time on each of them. In terms of IP and data, you will be the sole owner of the results and outcomes of your project and all of the associated intellectual property. We expect proposals to follow an open approach, and we will prioritize applications with a well-articulated plan to share results, experiences, and outputs with the wider scientific community and the public. There is training available from our side to help you achieve that. For citizen science projects where citizens produce data, the application needs to include details about the way the data will be managed during and after the pilot, specifically if you are working with personal data that falls under GDPR and how you will manage that. We may require you to share collected data with the action team to inform the design of our toolkit, which is one of Action's goals. And that may include the contributions of the citizens, as well as anonymized or aggregated data on participation of your citizen scientists. In terms of how we select our projects, every application will be reviewed by at least 2 reviewers. Reviewers will provide an overall score on a 5-point scale, strength on each of the 3 sections. There is details available in our guide for applicants for exactly what the sections should include. Reviewers will also provide feedback which will be shared with the applicant. Successful applicants will be shortlisted and invited to an interview. Finally, please consider that action is about pollution in any form. Ideas that do not have a clear pollution focus will not be considered. Incomplete or late applications will also not be considered. If you think a question or a document or anything in our process does not apply to you, please contact us in advance, ahead of the deadline. We will not be able to do anything after 1st November. Pollution is a global challenge, and pilot's activities do not have to be carried out in Europe. As I said earlier, one of our current case studies works from Italy with a community in Chile. However, applicants must be eligible for Horizon 2020 funding. Additionality is also very important to us. What would happen if you would not receive the funding from Action? You need to explain to us why participating in Action will make a difference for your project. If you want to raise questions, there's always the guide for applicants and the FAQ, which is updated as we receive questions. You can contact us via email on call@actionproject.eu or on Twitter @Action4CS. And the recording of this webinar and the previous one are made available on our website. You can also ask questions now. You're welcome to pop any questions either into the chat or switch on your microphone and/or camera to ask questions directly. Please note again that this webinar is recorded and you would be recorded along with it. We have a question in the chat whether we will prioritize rural or urban areas for deployment. No, we don't have a preference so long as it is pollution related. I would guess that there's potentially different forms of pollution in rural and urban areas, and those have to match up, but we don't have a clear priority for either. More questions? I have another question on the application form that cannot be modified. I don't know when you downloaded it. This should have been resolved. There should now be a Word document that you can edit available to download from our website. And if that isn't the case, please email call@action and we'll try and resolve it individually. Any more questions? I'll just give you a chance to collect your thoughts and type. If you don't have questions now, you can obviously always email us, tweet us, or reach out through any of the other opportunities I listed earlier. All of those are also available on our website, so you don't have to remember them now. We have another question. When you say attend meetings, does that mean online? Same for the conference. At the moment, given the global situation with the pandemic, we assume that we will run the second accelerator online. The workshop that is part of the negotiation phase will definitely be held online, and that will happen in January. In terms of future events, in the past, we wanted, so that the last workshop we held offline and in person. Meetings generally with your mentor will be online just because you need the travel budget when you need to travel. The conference, at the moment, we hope that we can hold it in person. So you will need to budget for travel costs for that. But other than that, most of our training, most of our interactions are held online. You're very welcome. Any further questions? Can we propose a double deployment, one in the EU and one outside the EU, for example, and in the negotiation period evaluate the feasibility? I'm not entirely clear what you mean. You should propose one project, and you can only apply select the project that you want to apply. You can't, I don't know if you mean that you apply with two different things and then negotiate with us. What would happen? Can you clarify? One unique proposal. So your proposal can have different, say, different data collection options and so on. I don't think if you want to propose two alternatives for how the project could be delivered, I don't think you will have the space in the application form. It's only 4 pages and you have to be concise. So I would recommend that you select one of the options and justify why that is the better one. Another question, should we come to Berlin to sign the contract? No. Your contract will be with King's College London. So if anything, it would be London. And while you're always welcome to visit, right now it wouldn't be safe. And there's no need. We will do all of the negotiations online. We have a shared cloud drive where we can exchange documents, and everything else will be sorted by email or calls, depending on what it is. Any more questions? Doesn't look like it. All right, in that case, thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much for your questions. I look forward to all of your applications. And if you have anything else after this webinar, please do not hesitate to email us or contact us through any of the other routes. We are very happy to help. Have a nice day.